Jenifer Langosch covers the Cardinals for MLB.com. She joins us here on the Morning Run. Hey, Jenifer, good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm fine. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah. So let's start talking about Yadier Molina. One of the big storylines there in Cardinals camp going into the season is the contract situation. What's the latest?
Yeah, I mean, they reopened negotiations on Monday. Now, this was after having some preliminary discussions before Yadi left for the World Baseball Classic, but they kind of put those on hold, and he was gone, of course, for close to 3 weeks because of how deep Puerto Rico went. But Yadi made it very clear when he came back that this is something that he wants taken care of before the season starts, which, of course, puts the Cardinals on the clock since opening day is on Sunday. He wants to be among the highest-paid catchers in the game. He's slated to make $14 million this year, which is less than Russell Martin, who makes $20, but less than Buster Posey, who's at $22. So there's certainly an interest there for more money. And Yadi was very clear as well in saying that he is not afraid to test free agency. So the Cardinals really want to keep him. This is a guy who could be a lifetime Cardinal and have a very special legacy here. But they're going to have to be willing to put up some pretty big dollars. And Yadi may have to compromise in terms of the length of the deal as far as whether it's going to be 3 or 4 years.
Yadi says he wants a deal done by opening day, but there's a chance that that might not happen, and this could maybe become a distraction. What are the concerns that that's a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to know. We've seen it with some players that it does become a distraction during the season and others don't. You know, I think with Yadi is perhaps the most motivated player that I have ever covered. And I think if he doesn't have a contract extension by opening day, he could be setting himself up for just a monster season. I mean, he knows what would be at stake at the end of the year. Do I think this would be something that would permeate into the clubhouse and cause issues? No, I don't think so. It would certainly be a conversation that would be had throughout the year. And, you know, I'm not convinced either that if something doesn't happen by opening day that it couldn't potentially happen during the season. You know, that can always come, especially if Yadi gets the deal that he's looking for at some point. But Yadi's a professional. He's been through this. He watched Albert Pujols go through this several years ago in St. Louis. So I think he'd be able to minimize it as a distraction and really, quite frankly, channel it as motivation.